Alright guys, this is Lewis from Utah Trikes, and I'm going to show you how to hook up your brake and gear sensors on your Bafang motor. So if you take a look here, this already has it installed, and this is an inline brake sensor, so it comes down, your brake cable is going to go through there, and same on this other side. We have one on each. Okay guys, so we're going to hook up the gear sensor. First thing you're going to want to do, since this gear cable is already set up, which most likely yours is too, you're going to come loosen the pinch bolt. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Just go ahead and loosen that out. Don't pull it out all the way because it's kind of a pain to put that bolt back in. Then you're going to want to trim off the crimp end like such. Okay, now come over to your shifter and start pulling the cable through. Now that we have that done, we're going to want to figure out where we want our inline sensor. I like to put it kind of under the seat, tucked away, where it looks good. Another thing to keep in mind is this lead right here coming from your motor is where you're going to connect it. So you're going to want to make sure that you have enough cable. So you can go ahead and plug that in, make sure the arrows line up, and it should slide in fairly easy. So we'll run this back, and it looks like we're gonna put it about right there, because we'll have enough cable and it's tucked away, will look pretty nice. So you're gonna wanna get your Park Tool CN-10 or any other thing that can cut the cable. So you're gonna trim it here, okay? And then we'll put this up to it and find out about how much we're gonna need to cut out. So about that much. Go ahead and trim that off. And then make sure that, let's see, this one might have it, yeah. So when you trim these cables, you're gonna wanna make sure that you don't have any overhang with that metal. So you're just gonna wanna trim that off a little bit. It's easier to use dikes. It's not a dike, okay. Gonna wanna just trim off that little metal right there, so the cable will be able to go through without having any issues. So now, get your cable, start feeding her back through. Then it'll start coming out down here. Pull it through. Make sure it seats back into the shifter. So now, you're gonna need some ferrules. Go ahead and put the ferrule on the cable and bring it down to the end over here and make sure it seats properly right there. Okay, now get your gear sensor and you're gonna wanna feed your cable through it. So there's a little hole there, get it through, pull it out the other end. Make sure this cable seats properly into it. And now, here's where the other ferrule comes into play. You get this, put it on there, and then make sure it seats on the other end of the cable. Go ahead and feed this through, and make sure it seats in the gear sensor. Make sure the other ends of your cable are in the appropriate cable guides. Get this back through, and then your gear sensor is installed. You're gonna have to redo the actuation of your derailleur, which we will do in another video. So keep your eyes out for that. Now we're gonna hook up the brake sensor. So what you're gonna wanna do, I already did it, but you will trim a length of cable out about the size of the brake sensor so it'll fit in without needing to put a whole new cable. And similar to the gear sensor, you're just gonna start running the brake cable through the housing. And then don't forget the ferrule. Ferrule here. Put that on and run it to the end of the housing. Right there. Okay. Now there is an arrow, and that is the direction that the cable pulls. So as you pull this, the cable is going to pull up. So you're going to want to put the cable through the opposite direction of the arrow, if that makes sense. So just like that. Get it up in there and make sure the ferrule is all seated. Now, ferrule for your other end. Cable housing. Run that to your brake sensor. And then I did drop a ferrule. There it is. Oh, okay. So now the last ferrule. You're gonna run that back through your caliper. Okay, so now with the brake sensors, there's going to be 2 plugs coming off of this main harness with the 4 plugs. 2 of them are going to be the female yellow ends with 3 plugs, and that's what the brake sensors plug into. On the left side, you most likely will not need an extension. On the right side, you might need an extension to get that plugged in. And that's how to put on your brake sensor. Go. Is this thing on? Untighten this. Got it. Yeah, because the end wasn't cut. But other than that, that's it.
That's what?
That's how to put on your